Come on, man. Where are we at? Can you hear that plane or no?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, crap. Okay, guys, sorry. A little late. Sorry if you hear the plane. I had to open the windows because it was hot. But anyway, so we're here for reality with Kristen Marie. We have ERIN D here because we just had the most, I don't know, controversial, not really, but like maybe the last season of OC. Not really. I don't know. I have thoughts, like, and we're going to go into it. We're going to talk about it. And so I'll drop the link a little bit after, but yeah, we got a lot to talk about.
Yes,
I watched it 4 times. So, all right. So the other day I was saying, all right, so now I started watching the OC on day 1. So of course, like it was when Slade was trying to be like the 7th housewife. So I got very addicted to it really quick, but that was the OC that I got into. Mm-hmm. And as much as I had a love-hate relationship with Vicky all along, but my whole thing is everybody feels like I miss those days, but everybody feels like it's because, we lost Tamara and Vicky now. Well, I don't disagree with bringing them back. I'm going to rephrase that. I did right now, like bringing them back is not going to give us the old OC. So I feel like we have run our course. I don't feel like whatever we're looking for, it's not going to be in them. And it's going to have to be like either completely revamp it. And I don't even know if that's going to work and I don't know if people even really want the old OC. I guess, let's see. But Heather, on the other hand, now, do I think that she could have saved the show? Yes, but not from already failing season, a failing franchise. I hate to say failing, but a franchise that we're just no longer wanting to like co-sign as much as we used to. And it's like nothing against the women that are on there and nothing against Heather. And I feel that like literally, I think that Heather gave us Heather. Heather is real. And why people thought that she was thinking that she is this, she's bigger than she is. Heather is just Heather. That's all she is. And she doesn't know how to be any other way. And I don't think she thinks she's better than anybody. And I don't think she thought she was king, queen bee, and that she was, going to somehow save the franchise. I think she went in there because she loves her children. And her children were coming to her with really important issues that they want to share. And like, I'll get teary-eyed because I'm telling you, when I saw her interact with her daughter writing that book and just the way she handles herself, oh my God, like they raised amazing children. Like you can't really, there's nothing, I can't see anything. I mean, if anything, I would love to just see that still. I would love to see her family. I feel like they're very successful. I don't think fame is what they look for. I think that they just want to be, having money is different. You don't have to have both. You can be rich. You don't have to be famous. But I think that they own their money. They owe their, you know what I mean? And it does. I believe it's old money. So it's not like they're going to just blow it. And it doesn't even have anything to do with that. But people always want to put that on her. Like that's what she was there for. She's a narcissist. And do I think Andy Cohen's a narcissist? Yes. But do I think Heather having her accolades on her wall? I would too. But I'm not a narcissist. So, but anyway. And I loved her. I love seeing her children. And I hope like that if we keep the franchise, or we can see more of Heather and Terry, because I think that, I think she pushed the cameraman? No, we saw her do that. That's what we saw. We saw this. And at this point, if she pushed the cameraman, I'm sure there'd be some charges, or it would be something we are detectives. We've been doing this for a very long time. Bravo fans don't play. They would have cracked the case a long time ago. Now, before I go on to Noella, what are your thoughts on Heather and Terry and the first?
Okay, I love Heather. She can do no wrong. I mean, she's not always right in every situation, but she has brought a new lightness to the franchise. And I think we needed a little lightness because some of the franchises with the Erica Girardi, that's just too much for me. So I like the lightness. Everybody called it boring, but I think we needed a little less crazy, as we could say. So I thought Heather brought a good good lightness to the season and a little bit back more to a little fun.
And I think she handled Noella with grace, and as much as she could. And at the end, you can't. I thought what they said, like, it is like you're trying to fight with a child that just doesn't get it, and it's just like, and I said I wouldn't say this, but I saw this reference somewhere else, and it says nothing. It's not an excuse for bad behavior, but somebody mentioned that she might be somewhere on the spectrum and just very high functioning of autism, and her processing doesn't. I didn't pick up on it until somebody else said that, and I was like, okay, maybe that is a possibility. I was unaware that if your child is diagnosed with autism, that maybe that one of the other parents has to have that gene. I don't know if that's true. This is just something I saw, and I think I got a blog. I keep saying blogs because I'm old, but on an Instagram post, and I thought, hey, like that actually, that would make sense. But do I think that she's I think that she's extremely intelligent. I think she's a genius, and I think that she, on the other hand, can like she had me duped for a minute. Like at first, I remember, I'm telling you, the first week that it aired, we were recapping on Jason's, and you could like see the light in our eyes. We were flying. We're like, yay, Novella's great. Like she had this air. We thought she was wonderful. I was like, wow. Okay. My stepdaughter. Oh, okay. Did you mean Trish? Did you mean her stepdaughter? Oh, okay. I don't know. I know what you mean now. Okay. That's what I meant. I was just going to say when I read that blog, I keep saying blog, when I read that, they had mentioned that, and I said, oh, I didn't know that at all, but okay. I'm not going to say where I think. Anyway, so with Noella, yeah, I was duped, and I was like, okay. And then I'm thinking, she is going against the grain. She read the Housewives Handbook. Like she knew that everybody was going to be like, oh, Heather. And they were, and it was like, okay, that's great. But like, that's not what fun is that we just watch everybody just get along and everything's all smooth. But, do I like the fact that we have no criminal activity and we don't have to drag on for almost 2 years and get absolutely nowhere and watch over and over. But I feel like Heather, if anything, we can now maybe transition her to another show where it's about her family. I'm not real interested in seeing her save marriages or anything like that. Not my cup of tea, but I'm very interested in literally seeing her family and how they navigate, because I think they're amazing, and I get teary-eyed every time I see her interact with her children. And with Noella, I believe that as well, Trish, that she is a liar and a manipulator. And but she's not very good at it. I mean, she dupes us for a little bit. What's your thoughts on Noella, Miss ERIN?
I actually hope they give her a second season, because I think this season, I was watching Kempire, and he said that she did a lot of homework and she was a huge fan. And I thought that Kempire was probably right. She came into it trying to be like a good housewife and not being more real. So I kind of agree with Kempire on his thing. He's like, let's give her another season. Maybe she'll mellow, and then we can see who she really is. Because I think it's hard to judge this season, because she was just putting everything out there. And we kind of got that with Bronwyn, and it was too much. So maybe it just takes a breath, comes back next season. I like when they give people a second season to try. I think it's always better than their first.
And I agree too. As much as I thought like she acts like it was annoying, it's more childish where we're kind of can just be like, all right, whatever. Until it gets to like a dangerous level where she's ruining people's lives. I mean, I don't think anybody takes what she says seriously when she talks crap on people. Hold on, Judgy Cat would like to come in. I'm sorry, guys. I told her she had one chance to come in, and that was it. And she lost her chance, but I hear her.
But he doesn't already. But I love
Cat. No. Oh, second chance gone. Okay. Judgy Cat.
At Philly.
Okay. So then, now, also with her having a new boyfriend and her having this new business venture, could be very interesting. But I believe that we have to do something. Like we said, who would be the lead?
Hmm.
Anybody in the chat want to, like, at this point, like, who would be our diamond holder? I'm sorry, our orange holder. Not orange peel by any means. Orange peel, no. Mr. Ryan will not be holding an orange.
I'm sorry. I know you don't want Tamara and Vicky back. But
I said this season.
no, I mean.
Okay. We have to look forward. Okay. No.
Tamara. I'm going with Trish. I'm going with Tamara.
Okay. Tell me why you think, because she knows. All right. Because of her popularity, correct?
No, not just because of her popularity. Because she can be in the center of drama and still be friends with everybody. And I think
Can she?
Yeah, because even when she's
real
fighting, she can still go to a party with them.
Yeah, but she's not a real friend. All right, go ahead. Proceed. Sorry.
Housewife, friend.
Okay, there you go.
Work.
But see, know what's going to happen then? She'll try to make fetch happen. And this could be good. Oh, fetch would go nuts. Maybe it would be great. Oh God, if they brought Tamara back and they didn't bring fetch back. Well, it's the wrong franchise, I get it, but like, Megan King, maybe, yeah. Megan King, Joe Mendoza said.
Oh, I love Joe's idea. That is a good one.
All right,
Trish, no Kelly.
Okay, now I know that we love. All right, so I have different opinions on Emily, but I want you to take the lead with Emily. What do you think?
Oh.
How do you feel?
So I know Emily was a pot stirrer this season. I totally agree with all that. But the stuff that she's doing with her law degree to make a difference for the people who are locked up unlawfully or just wrongly convicted, or even have been sentenced much harder than some different race, that stuff just gets to me. I'm sorry, I get emotional because
we're allowed to cry here. We're criers here.
Yeah, that stuff just hits me so hard, and I just love that so much. I really want to see more of that, and I thought bringing attention to that on something like The Housewives, I was all for her. When she did that, I was in. I hope she comes back next season now.
And how do you feel about like her daughter getting baptized and how she was so accepting of it?
That was fantastic. I think that she's a really good mother because she can put herself first and put herself second. Even though we were getting more of the background story, she, in front of her daughter at that table, was so supportive, and she was like, yes, we'll do a party for you. She celebrated her daughter. She did a big party and everything, and she's not religious. So for a non-religious person to just make such a big deal out of that, I admired it.
Yeah, I agree. I remember, again, like talking about that part of it. And I said, and I was weary about talking about spirituality, but I was so, I love the fact that it's starting to be talked about, even just mentioned the word. And then whatever you follow, but like just talking about it. And I agree. You just kind of changed me on bringing Emily back because I remember that now. I remember, she is an amazing mother, and she did it. Shane did the work, she almost divorced him, and I felt, but she kept it together, and she worked through it. And people say it's a joke, how they got engaged, but you know what? Sometimes you just, when there's a good man there, there's a good man there, and he saw a good woman.
100%.
And look at them now. Like, I truly believe that they are not going. They're going to be another, they're a success out of this, and they're not going to let the curse. Now, Shannon, I felt bad for her. I feel like she is not, okay. Now in the beginning, like I don't believe her a big agenda in the beginning was to tear down Terry's, I think with that, I don't know why, Heather saw it that way. I hope that she really didn't, because it's kind of, you guys are in your 60s. She's not spending her time trying to destroy you and make up something. Do I think it was being a gossiper? Yeah. She trusted Erin and Gina not to say, Erin and
Emily and Gina.
Oh my God, Emily and Gina not to say anything.
It's sweet.
She's not the one that brought it up on camera, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the beginning, now.
And she did admit when she brought it up to them, she was drunk. We all do things when we're drunk. Well, those who drink, when you're drunk. I have people
Yep.
tell me they're drunk, and I'm like, yep, they probably did not mean to tell me that.
Right. And it's like, how do you give yourself an award for bringing it up to her right away on camera at a party? But you didn't run right to her. You waited till the cameras were on, and then we all saw it.
Yeah.
And then you have Terry in an uproar. You have Heather trying to shoot down. And it's like, yes, you should have been very more upset or equally as upset.
I like what Trish did.
Right.
Trish was saying she was just trying to figure out who the girl was. Exactly.
And when you saw the picture difference, now I understand how she could not, the picture of what she used to look like and what she remembered her as was not the mini Emily that we saw now.
100%.
So, yeah, completely. And it's like, Emily is she's a good all around housewife and production eyes in that way.
Yes.
Like, until it gets like harming, like, we'll Kelly Dodd off with her head. Then we'll off with her head. You know what I mean? We'll have to Kelly Dodd her,
Yeah.
But like, I feel like we need like, a different name as well, and I feel like she chose to leave Nicole, right?
Yeah, she did. She had enough of it. She didn't like how production was doing it, which she's come out and said. But you know what? Housewives is not for everybody. And sometimes a really good person cannot be on Housewives. And I think she was a generally good person.
Could do
Housewives. Like, I could not. If I fight with somebody, I feel horrible. Like, I think she was like that. So.
And you know what? They say, a lot of them say it, like, if you want to ruin your friendships, go on The Housewives, because production gets very messy. And look, I mean, it's heartbreaking because the Manzos, for instance, like, they had, every family's got issues, but it's at the point now where, like, there is like nothing. There's nothing that would bring those sisters back together. And it's like. And what Teresa, like, it's really, you put your entire life on the line. You could lose your marriage. And it's like, and then people say, if you don't do anything wrong, what are you worried about? But that's not always the case. People don't always believe you. Like, somebody could tell you a rumor and you just might not believe your friend. Like,
yeah,
I feel like the show now, I know I'm going into Jersey, but like, just with Teresa and Trey and Dolores. Nothing in the world would ever ruin that friendship. But for some reason now, because of some miscommunication and because she saw on camera how, the right thing to do was to stay with Margaret. But like, Teresa doesn't see it that way. And that's just, that's a production thing. And that's something that, like, you put your, like, Jacqueline now, it's a lot of ruins friendships. So like the jealousy aspect of it as well. Shannon and Vicky and Tam are really friends.
But they have two different sides, and I really like this saying, and I've heard this a lot. I think Real House of the Real Andy of Beverly Hills did this towards last summer, and he was talking about it, and like they were saying, there is the truth, there's her truth, and then in the middle there's the real truth, and I think there's kind of a combination of what really happened.
Right. I just feel too like they should know by now that Shannon's motives really aren't to ruin like somebody's life. You know what I mean? Like, they were really going after her the whole entire, and even here on the reunion, all Shannon's trying to do is like, look, if Noella believes her perception's her reality, if that's how she feels, and with the thing with Noella, I truly 100% believe that she filed for separation because of the legal stuff. Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
And why does it matter if she's only renting an OC, Emily? I don't think, who cares? Yeah. She was under the impression that they were just if you're trying to go on a housewife show, yes, you're going to do all those things. You're going to want to live there. You're going to want to insert yourself. You're going to want to make yourself known. What is wrong with wanting to be a housewife and doing the things that you do to get onto the show, right? And Emily just like going at her and going, no, this is the date you filed. Like, that upset me. Why are you telling her? And why are you caring so much? Why the hell? What day she filed and why it's in here? He's in Puerto Rico. Don't question her. Just leave her alone. I feel like he got I feel like she's telling the truth. He knew everything about the show. And then when he realized that we go after the criminals and there's no way he can get out of this, and it might have been deeper than she even knew, he got scared and she filed. The separation was already filed, but they didn't plan on divorcing. And I feel he was like, okay, now look, we're going to have to get a divorce. Like, you really do want this show more than you want us. And I don't know if that's right or wrong. And maybe that was the best thing for her, because it seems like it was a very toxic, maybe not toxic, but like he claims it's a sex, drugs, and rock and roll type relationship, as he's in Ibiza, or the island in Greece.
Now, Joe just said, I don't believe Noella. Heather was actually right. She is a thirsty girl. Now, I trust that Emily is a lawyer, so she can read all those documentations. So that is one point that has been made on, I think.
Well, she could be correct, but she cares so much.
But you have to realize Emily can read all those documents, so she probably does have the dates right. And Noella was confusing, but Noella does seem emotional, so maybe she wasn't confusing on purpose. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, and that's why I want to see her come back for another season, because I do think she came into this really, really wanting to be a housewife. I mean, she did her homework on how to be a housewife. So maybe
who doesn't now? But who doesn't?
So maybe some of her facts were a little mixed up. I want to say, just be kind. They were a little mixed up and confusing. Yeah. But maybe it wasn't on purpose. It was just like she's trying to protect her family, and she's going through this very emotional thing. And being a first-time housewife, it's a lot on anyone. So,
well, what are they confused about? Like, so what are they saying, that she filed different? Like, they have a different timeline?
Well, she was saying, like, she was completely shocked about the divorce, which yes, she could have been, because she thought it was just a separation.
Separation for legal reasons, right?
But most people who separate think they're getting a divorce. That was Emily's point. So you can see both sides.
Most people, but that's just a generalization, though. That's not her. That's not.
But that's what Emily's saying. Like, but even Emily was like, generally, when you separate, you are getting a divorce. She made that statistic. And instead of Noella going, well, most people do, but that's not what I was going to do, she didn't back that up either, though. So
yeah, like you said, maybe she didn't want to say he's in a lot of legal trouble. But Emily, I could have pulled Emily aside off camera and said, look, I know I filed for separation. I just can't leave. I don't feel comfortable saying that I mean, maybe it's all going to be out there. And it did seem like she, like she said, I didn't care about having the backyard wedding, but like Emily's saying, but for legal reasons. But at that point, like, we know what it was now. We know it was because he was in trouble. We know that he got probably freaked out, and he probably wanted to
still married.
Are they still married now?
Noella, when she first was with, I don't even know what to call him, her ex-husband is what I'm going to say.
Oh, she has an ex-husband?
The man that is now her ex-husband, who was her husband during the season.
Oh, that man. Yeah, the mention on Seeking Arrangements. That guy.
He was married when they first did that backyard thing. Wasn't a real wedding. She said
was it separated? Was he separated, though?
Separating, going through a divorce, and divorces can take a long time, especially if there's money involved. So he was actually still going through the divorce when she got her backyard wedding. So just
I mean, when did they legally get? How much longer after that did they legally get married?
I don't know. I think that would be a good question. If anybody knows that, let us know.
Because if they were only married for a year legally, that backyard wedding, I wonder when that was, because that would be real confusing. Because, I mean, obviously, they wouldn't be the first people to be together when you're going through a separation. You can't, but like for legal reasons, he wouldn't be able to sign the paperwork. But I wonder, And then
that's what Heather's point was. It was all very confusing,
right?
And
it was, but like, so I'm still confused on like, so it just because they rented. And she said, like, our voters here, like everybody else, I rent here. So so she said California was the deciding divorce factor, people, like, right?
No, Puerto Rico divorced them. The custody is in California.
How? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
So, I
because
mean, so they have legal residence in both places, so I guess it can be.
and have legal residence in both places, it is possible. Because even when I first moved to Pennsylvania, I
Yeah.
still was a legal resident of Connecticut. I mean, so it is possible to be legal residents of two places. People who go from, especially in New England where I was, have places in Florida during the winter, so it is possible. But that's why getting the divorce that's why he filed for divorce, so he would have jurisdiction and sorry if I'm
Jurisdiction. Yeah, yeah.
in Puerto Rico. That's why when she filed for separation, he filed for divorce.
Oh,
That
okay. So,
so that he
well,
would get
would he have to file for separation then
no,
first in
no,
Puerto
because you don't
Rico?
have to file for separation. You
Oh,
can file for divorce. That was what
no. Okay. Okay. I
what
forgot. Okay.
saying.
Now the fact that the divorce, okay, so will the Puerto Rican courts have any say in the custody battle at all?
No, that's what Noella did clear up during the reunion. She said the divorce is done, and that was done by Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
And now California has jurisdiction. I'm sorry, I keep messing up that word
Yeah, I do.
in the custody. So I thought that she did answer some questions, which was important that people were confused about.
Yeah. But they were like, we don't believe you. We don't believe you. I mean, I don't care that she met him on seeking arrangements. That doesn't mean they didn't fall in love later. What are you going to say? What are you going to say?
Oh, Natalie is wondering. I was wondering how they did this, Erin. I was wondering that too, Natalie. I'm still trying to figure out everything. But I believe because she has the child in California, I believe that's what Emily was saying, that because the child is actually in California, they can get, and I believe if she files the custody thing in California before he filed the custody thing in Puerto Rico, like that's why he filed the divorce thing in Puerto Rico, so that will get jurisdiction. So it's
Is
all
he
very confusing.
trying to get custody at all? Do we know?
What?
Does anybody know? Is he trying to get custody of his son?
I don't.
Or,
He hasn't
or,
said anything like that. She
yeah,
did.
like,
She did say he finally came to see the child. Though that was good. I was
but
glad.
why is it only one time? I'm wondering why he doesn't want to see his child more. That really hurts my heart.
But maybe it's not that. I mean, there's always different things when you're going through a divorce, especially if he was in Puerto Rico and she was here, and the kid does have the autism. You want to
Yeah.
do what's best for the child, and
But is
so
it really best for the child to stay away? Your dad to
yeah.
stay away? Maybe he
But
doesn't understand that, maybe.
but but we don't know what kind of classes he's in or anything like that. We don't know.
Why can't he come here, though? Like, why can't his dad come here? Or
Well,
he's.
we don't know a lot of the backstory, so I don't want to judge him off that because
I'm not judging. I'm just asking. I'm
yeah.
curious if anybody knows, if anybody's heard anything or why he. I mean, I guess she's not really saying he's a deadbeat dad. Maybe there is underlying issues, but like everybody says, everything. We know everything else. So instead of us like wondering like why isn't he more involved in his son's life? Is he legally not allowed to come to the States? I mean, I know, and I know that he didn't want his son to film and all that, but like
Well,
I know that I don't know. I wonder,
at all either.
hmm.
Her daughter didn't film at all either.
Yeah. I don't know who her ex-husband is, or the father of that child. Do we know if that's why that was stopped or she just didn't?
I'm not sure. She didn't even mention the reunion was the first time I heard her mention the other child during the season. I mean, we knew about the other child because everyone has discussed it on everywhere, but
And I agree. Like, we need a second season with her because there's a lot of like things that now I think that maybe, hopefully, we'll get to see more. Like, maybe he'll agree to let her son on. Maybe now she'll be maybe she'll stabilize. I'm not excusing anything she did. I just like, I feel like it was childish. So, and like, if it gets to the point where it's more it's like dangerous, and she's ripping people's lives apart, off of their head, or she's like, doing a Ramona Singer, or like, a Kelly Dodd.
Comes back next season.
What happened?
Are you hoping she comes back next season?
Yeah.
All right,
I will. I can say that. Yeah. I'll say yes. Yeah. because I just thought like, yeah, she was going through a lot, and like she might have just been like overly excited like Bronwyn and just wanted to get it like me, here I am, and she's probably not used to being seen or feel like she's been she wanted to be in the spotlight. Her barely mentioning her daughter too. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of things. Maybe the daughter didn't want her name mentioned.
Yeah, we don't know how old the daughter is or anything. Yeah, Trish is literally saying that exact same thing in the chat. It was weird. She was barely mentioned, her daughter. Yeah, I agree, Trish, 100%. It was a little strange for me. Even if she wasn't on camera, you would have thought she only talked about her son. I guess if she hadn't talked about either one of them, it wouldn't have been weird if she had just said my kids or something.
Maybe like I said, the daughter, I think she's 13, I heard, and she might just be one of those kids that doesn't want, Mom, don't talk about me, or don't say my name because, she's in school. And, it would be probably hard for her to be Noella's daughter if she's in her teens or getting to be her teens at this point, because people are bullying Noella, and that's not right. And imagine what they do to kids.
Yeah,
but
I'm wondering if Joe is right, because Joe is saying something about a gag order from the dad of the child.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Joe. I didn't think of that. That could be.
Like Joe. Joe saves the day, but I feel like Dr. Jen. Am I forgetting anybody? All right, Dr. Jen.
Okay, did anyone notice she said when they did the beautiful segment about Emily, then Dr. Jen tried to add in, I could give the doctor's perspective, and then just nothing. Nobody said anything, and they cut. And I was like, that was awkward. And
Emily's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Emily, yeah. What was the read on her face? Emily's face, you think?
Emily just had like blank, like I don't know if that was
lawyer face, attorney face.
Everybody's face was like no emotion when Dr. Jen talked, and I was like, wow, she's in the middle of a lot of lawsuits. I mean, I don't want to get into that, but I was like, wow, nobody said anything. It would have maybe been better if they had just cut it so they didn't show that part.
Yeah, I would think like. All right, so all right, now did you hear what she said on What Should Happens Live? Or was it on here about him not possibly moving with her? And Andy's like trying to poke at her, and she's like, maybe. Do we think she's playing that up for another? Because you have to bring it at the reunion. Do you think she's trying to get her name back, or do you think it's true?
I kind of wonder. I do think, like Kempire was saying on his live yesterday, she was boring. More people remember Nicole than Dr. Jen.
And Ron.
And that's not good.
Mm-mm.
And I always want somebody to have a second season, but maybe for Dr. Jen, and I don't mean it to be mean, maybe for her life, it may be better, because I don't want to see anybody get divorced or anything like that. So I hope she does that's for her family versus her whatever housewives would be career, I guess.
Right. I agree. And I feel like even with all her legal stuff, we're still not paying that much attention. Like when people have legal stuff, we're digging and we're caring and we're talking. Like, we don't even give a F about the Kardashians, and look how it's all over the place. Like, and the thing about it, we're not really digging on that. And it's like, and like you said, maybe with him not wanting, them just trying to fix their thing, and her trying to push the talk on camera, and him saying, look, I'm going to walk away. Instead of making him feel like a DICK, this man does not want to discuss his relationship on camera. And don't make him look like and it looked like he was neglectful. And do I agree with the way he talked to her when she was away? But look, you don't have time for your family, but you're on vacation. But I agree you're a housewife and that's what you have to do. Yes. But how much do you really have to work? If you don't even know that your daughters are jokingly saying, well, that's our second mom or our real mom, or like that's a hint to like maybe hire a office manager, and I don't know, maybe just not shoot for a year and stay home with your family, because going on vacations with the housewives, having stuff come out about you, you're lucky that we didn't dig as much or care as much. She might just be another fetch to us. Like, cool, she's a nice lady, like Tamara says about that. She's a nice lady. That's what she said. Tamara's like literally about I hate saying her name, Freddie Mellencamp. She's a nice lady. I mean, it's true. We don't hate. I mean, it's just not housewife-ish. And like Ron was like Ron orange peel. I just call him orange peel. Yeah. I can't get behind it because he thought it was cool. Yeah. Getting a new pair of sneakers is cool, Jen. You don't changing your name at 26 because you think it's cool.
Yeah.
That's not cool. It's weird. It's just freaking weird to me. And you don't even have to why even change it legally? Why? Just say your name's Ryan. Ryan. It reminds me of like when I make like pizzelles at Christmas and I have to put anisette seeds and I have an orange peel in it. It's like that's literally where my head goes all the way. It takes me all the way to that. I start thinking about the orange peel, the rinds.
Trisha and how fun in chat. She said the most interesting thing about Dr. Jen is Mr. Puppers. True. That was true. That's sad.
Is true. And Mr. Puppers, like, seriously, what happened to Mr. Puppers? She hurt him? Oh, she didn't want to hurt her mom. Oh, I missed that part.
I know Trisha's having some really good comments in the chat.
I see.
Really enjoying her.
And yes, Natalie's you're making Natalie miss Philly.
Oh,
I know. Sarah says, Sarah loves me so much, I make her miss Jersey. And Sarah, sometimes she's I'm being like, I'm kidding. Sometimes she's just like, okay, well, I know she's exhausted just from like talking to me for a half hour. She doesn't miss Jersey. But yeah, I felt bad for Dr. Jen in the moment. Oh, I get what you were saying now. Okay. That when her daughter was okay. I mean, her daughter was being cruel and it was very uncomfortable too. Like, because like she's kind of being disrespectful, but like, come on, like, ugh. I don't know. And then okay, so the dinner the reunion was like kind of blah for me. I didn't really get much out of it. Then we already knew half the stuff they were yelling about. Like we already knew all that. Like, what did you get anything else differently before we talk about more about it? Like, did you get anything more out of it, the reunion?
The only thing that really kind of struck me, that really kind of bothered me that Gina did, was when Emily and Gina were definitely going after Shannon at this reunion.
Yes, again.
They wouldn't even like let Shannon talk. And so Shannon like yelling just to talk. She's like, I'm going to lose my voice over just to get something out. And Gina's like, you're going to lose your voice because you have to answer for everything this season. I was like, if she didn't do much this season, you guys attacked her. She has to defend herself for what you guys did this season to her. This was actually one of Shannon's more mellow seasons.
Amen. All they did was fucking, sorry guys. All they did was poke her where they know was going to get her. You don't poke her all season, tell her life's miserable and she's unhappy and everything she says. I do not think she believes that she doesn't want anybody to be less successful. She wasn't gunning, Gina's like, and then she's like, you were gunning for me. Gina, yes, you are. That is exactly what you guys are doing. You're gunning for her all season. And she's like, I don't gun for anything, Gina. And it's like, chill, bro. Like, what the, like, it's all right, Gina. You're coming back. Like you going after a woman who's like twice your age. One is disrespectful. I'm not age shaming her. I'm just saying, like, that's like Shannon she's not playing games like you think, Gina. She's not young enough. I'm just saying, like, she's not sitting, she don't have time for that. Like, her life is extremely fulfilled. She's doing in the very beginning, I feel like, again, she knows she messed up drinking and she ran, pot stirred. She does it a lot. But hey, she's not out robbing people and she's not out like being a criminal. She's got a new man. Who cares that he's not that rich? Who gives a shit? She's happy. Her love tank is filled. And I feel like they just want her to be unhappy. And it's like, of course she's going to have moments. I'm emotional. I cry over stuff and I have an amazing life and stuff makes me cry all the time too.
I know.
Like, I still cry about my past. And like, so now if we're thinking like, if she was going to come back, she could possibly be like a good head lead person, Shannon.
Yes, she could.
And Emily would just chill out with her, like just be her friend, like be the threesome. That like I feel like we could have like another, 3 of them would be cool, and even have Heather. So who am I leaving out? Dr. Jen, right? And Noella. Yep. Oh wow, I said I wanted Noella too.
Oh, by the way, hi Norma. Norma just joined.
Oh, hi Norma.
And Trish just made a good point. I wonder if Gina and Emily planned out this Shannon pile on storyline before the season started. I kind of wonder that too, because they didn't just go after this season, they went after like past seasons, like when they first joined it. That's what they were bringing up on the reunion as a problem with Shannon. I was like, you guys need to learn to move on, because even Heather was like, fighting, resolve. That's what housewives do. They were bringing up stuff from like 4 seasons past. I was like,
now
yeah.
I wonder who's paying them to do that. Who are they secretly friends with?
Oh, that's a good point.
Who would want to take Shannon down? Kelly?
I didn't think about that. And doesn't somebody still talk to Kelly? I forget who they.
I know that Vicky does. So let's try to go the trail here. So now, Vicky talks to Kelly, and Vicky doesn't like Shannon, right?
Vicky doesn't like Shannon because of the whole Tamara thing.
Right now, she's on the I hate Shannon. So if she was going, so could they be trying, I mean, really, could they have that? Because I mean,
are they trying to?
Ever since Vicky's been off the show, they've been gunning for her, and it seems to be just like telling her, "You're miserable, you're miserable," and like trying to make them think that they can trust them. She can trust them, and then you like literally ran right to Heather and put it right on camera. You like we said, you broke unless you want to break the fourth wall, it can't be. If it's talked about on camera, you're gonna have to make it a storyline. And Gina wasn't. We didn't even know about it. We just assumed it might come up later on down the line. Actually, we heard about it because of filming. Yeah. It had filmed before it aired, so of course.
That was a really good point. I didn't even think of that. Thank you, Trish. That was really good.
Guys, now I want the chat to answer. I want the chat. Let's think about this now. Who could be playing? Who could be who? It's got to be somewhere. Somebody, yeah. They're jealous, but I feel like there's other strings being pulled behind the scenes. I feel like somebody, because like Gina's not really that. They're not mean girls, though. Think about it. What are they they really got to be trying to get her to like break, because I mean, why Shannon? Why friend? Why there's got to be motives of pretending to be her friend and pretending to like make her think they can trust you, and then going behind and turning it around and use it against her. There's got to be somebody. You don't just sit around like somebody's going, all right, listen, this is what we're going to do to make you guys delete. We're going to have to get rid of Shannon since they got rid of us. Yeah. Now you're going to get rid of Shannon. And then you become really good friends with Heather, because Heather's going to end up staying. So make sure you stay on the side of Heather, and let's try to get Shannon out. Because if we do that, you guys are more likely to be the lead.
Okay, I don't think Gina ever as the lead. I mean, I love them.
Well, but I feel like in their head, I think they can make them think that. I think that Vicky and Tamara can make them think that. Like, look, this is what you do. You got to get rid of Shannon. You become friends with Heather, and it'll put you in like at least second place. Because I think of them as a twosome, but I think Emily can lead herself. But I think that maybe they're so worried about not having a spot that Vicky and Tamara are like, this is what you do. Yeah. Let's get rid of Shannon. Plus, another thing is they don't want Shannon on the show. Because if they're not on the show, they don't want Shannon on the show. We know that every time one of them is off the show or not on, they're going for the other. They stop being friends with them. They say Shannon does it that way. But I just feel like Shannon gets exhausted by them, because they do it to her too. Yeah. Vicky and Tamara gang up on her too.
Well, Heather even admitted in the beginning of the season that she hadn't stayed. She was friendly. She would text once in a while, but she didn't stay close to people when she left the show. So I think it's understandable that when you leave the show, that friendships change. Yeah. They're working together a lot.
You know, I don't like you, asshole. I'm sorry. Just kidding. It's actually the opposite. Honestly, I literally, once we're not on these things, I am on the phone with one of you guys at least 8 to 10 hours a day. And sometimes I'm like, it's something me and Mocha, I feel bad sometimes. I even miss her in the morning sometimes now, but I know like it's the opposite. But like, yeah, I feel like, and you know, they do have very separate lives, but like, I get annoyed with Tamara and Vicky when they act like the show now, because they're not wanted at the moment. They act like they don't think they're too good now. And it's so this worst season ever. And I don't, for the right price. And I don't think Tamara really, I don't know what I think now. I know that I miss the old OC, and I know we probably can't get it back. And like that feel, just because, but at least we don't have criminal activity yet.
Yeah, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with what people were
This,
calling the boring season. I
yeah,
enjoyed. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the mellow, the calmness, the little fights that weren't really that important. That's what I want
right,
in my lives. That's what I want.
right. It's yeah. I mean, and then you have to watch Jersey in the earlier in the week, and you got people throwing stuff at each other. It's like you got to calm. You got to calm down in the middle of the game. Like, shh, OC, calm me down after Jersey.
Yeah. I mean, and they had some funny moments with Emily and Gina this season. I wasn't.
I like the OC real song, believe it or not.
Oh, so did I. I was shocked. I liked it.
Me too. I'm an 80s chick too. I was like, I rock out like Shannon. Like I'm like, Poison. I used to have Poison posters everywhere and Motley Crue. And I was a groupie for Metallica. I didn't follow the Dead. I followed Metallica. You would think me as a pothead, I would have followed them. But I was like a mall rat with like, I was all black and I had like my hair was fanned out. Well, you're from Delco, so you get it. Yeah. Oh God. And then Kelly died. I can't believe that she won't go away either. I mean, I guess, do we expect her to try to go? She's not going to go away, but her thinking that calling Emily a liar. Did you hear her explanation for that? Okay. So about the, Heather pushing the cameraman. Mm-hmm. Okay. So apparently I guess maybe Emily and Kelly are in, I just put it together. Emily and Kelly they talk because she's saying that Emily was texting her the night of that party, the Nobu, the night of the push, that she's like, this is happening. And oh my God, Heather pushed the cameraman. And she's like, it was crazy. And she was texting Kelly this stuff. So now, Trish, I got them too. So now Kelly came out and said, Emily, she ruined her chances. She could have destroyed, Heather. She told me that it was true. She told me that night, here's the text messages. And really all she probably heard was the stuff was going around. Oh my God. She probably heard things, but she is a lawyer and can't say for sure. So, but like for Smelly Kelly to use that as fact, even the podcaster, I think it was Danny, maybe it was Danny or Behind the Belt. He was like, well, that's not, all right, let's get to where the proof is here that Emily lied and she's like, still, that doesn't mean, she just, and Emily said that was hearsay, that I literally just said, I kind of just heard that. So, Smelly Kelly, like, so look, now we know she talks to Kelly. So Kelly wants Shannon off the show.
No, I don't think I thought Kelly and Shannon were really friends. Like, Shannon wanted Kelly back on the show in the beginning of the season. So that
whoa, where's my head? I must have missed it.
I thought Kelly wanted Heather off the show.
Kelly, probably, yeah, probably.
Is it Shannon or okay? Let's ask the chat. So
yeah,
anybody in the chat, who did Kelly want off? Was it Heather or Shannon or both? If anybody knows, I'm a little confused.
Yeah, because I know she guns for a lot of them, but I wonder who it was that she was like.
It was Heather, because I think Shannon and her hang out still.
Do they?
I thought that in the beginning of the season, when Shannon was doing her interviews with the ET online, she said she was still friends with Kelly.
Okay. Kelly wanted to have. Okay, yeah. I mean, I feel like she's not going to be happy for anybody unless it's her on the show. But yeah, she probably would hate both of them. So all right, Norma, do you think? All right, it's Tamara has.
Okay. Trish says it's both. Okay.
So Norma, what do you think about? What was I going to say? I don't know how to word this because I don't know about Noella. What do you think about Noella, Norma? Do you think that she's just really, really playing the housewife game, or do you think she doesn't process things? Do you think she was really hurt and she was just spouting off and just like trying to make, just throwing tantrums anywhere she could? Because she would kind of own it in the end. She'd be like, I did say that. And then she kind of does stick by what she's saying about people. But it's not excusing it, but like, I can't figure out if she's extremely, or both. She could be both. Extremely calculated, really, really hurt and just playing the housewife game. because maybe she really does see Heather as like this awful person.
Yeah.
I don't know how. How do you hate somebody you don't really know? Think about it. What could she possibly hate about her? You don't know. You have to really hate something. To really go for somebody's job and say like into the pornography card thingy and all that kind of crap. And like, that's another thing with her with those cards. That's something a child would do. A childish thing to do is to not pay attention. And
now, do you think Noella hated her or was just jealous of her? Because I kind of
neither.
I thought it was more like jealousy than hate. And then I think she was trying to get over it. I thought Noella was trying to move on at different times with Heather, but she did say a very big statement. Whether true or not saying she lied or nothing, it was a statement, though, that you're going to go into this with, saying that she physically hurt somebody. That's a big statement to put out there, especially on TV.
Yeah.
So that's hard for Heather to get over, and I completely understood that. But I do think Noella tried to move past that moment, but Heather just couldn't. And that's kind of understandable, too. So
that is. I also said, I think I remember saying that I could understand why Heather was that adamant, but it did make her seem like she might have been feeling like she kind of maybe did almost push a cameraman, and she thought maybe that would make the man think maybe it was just that get out of my way. The guy didn't really think nothing of it, but that could be in his head, make him think he could get a look. He could start, and Noella's like kept bringing it up, and that could have made him.
Somebody saw the moment, made it a bigger deal than the guy who actually got pushed.
Yeah, and then the more you talk about it, maybe that could turn the guy into wanting to press charges, and then we go with Heather in trouble. And I think maybe Heather's being so, making her look guilty by getting so upset. And it's like, stop saying that. It was more of like, if you keep saying it maybe that little mistake of that it wasn't that big of a deal. Nobody thought nothing of it until you or somebody else said, because think about it. If she really punched a cameraman, I am pretty sure we would have seen something by now. The cameraman, anybody would have came out and said, I'm pressing charges. And, she, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like even the cameraman doesn't know he was pushed. Probably. He's probably like, I don't know, was it me? That could have been me. Like, you know what I mean? He might not even know that it's like, he could be like, oh, somebody got pushed. You know what I mean?
When we watched her go up the stairs, she was like, she put that rope behind her like they couldn't follow her, because Noella said it happened upstairs. That was the part that confused me, because she like shut that rope behind her so they couldn't go upstairs.
How did they get upstairs? Because she said no, nobody was going up them damn steps.
Yeah, that was the part that I got confused even from the beginning when Noella told that story. I was like, because I went back and I rewatched, and I was like, she definitely shut that rope and was like, you're not coming.
You think, didn't she say something about the hallway too? It being in a hallway, or, I mean, I feel like it
had happened upstairs in this hallway, though.
Now,
and Noella had admitted she saw the downstairs incident herself. She said this incident happened upstairs where she couldn't see.
That's like, how did she get upstairs? I was going to say, how could she see it if nobody could get upstairs?
Yeah, that was the whole thing was very confusing. I agree with
you. Mention by name. I'm sorry. Yeah, didn't she mention by accidentally a production guy's name or something, a cameraman's name? Said somebody said so, or all right. Now I did not see the very end of the reunion. I heard, weren't they trying to? She was saying something like, "I don't want to say it," and they're like, "Say it." No, that's going to be next week.
Next week's.
Okay. And Andy, needs to make a statement. I agree with that too, because I mean, maybe it's nothing. And Heather said, look, don't even bother making a statement, or I don't know. At this point, I would want a production man or somebody to put that to bed for them.
I think this is going to come up on the second part of the reunion, but I am glad it's only 2 parts, because they do not need a third part.
Oh, it is only 2 parts? Oh, thank God.
Only 2 parts. I think that's good. It's going to be a nice little wrap up for them. They had a cute little season. I mean, it was long, but it wasn't drama packed. So it was like a little lighter, which I think Heather's right. It's a transitional season. So we're going to see. Yeah. I'm curious with the chat, who does everybody not want to come back? Not who do you want to come back? Who don't you want to see next season? Because I'm curious.
If we had to take somebody out, who would it be? And if we were going, or do you think we should add? I think we should add another a cast member. Find another cast member too. I think we could add another person. I don't know who. Not an ex-cast member. A fresh person. A new person. A fresher. Just somebody new. My thing is take Dr. Jen out and maybe hire one or two more. Maybe one and a half. A one then a friend of.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay. Let's let everybody think about it for a second. Let's think about this seriously. Now, and maybe we can speak it into existence because, like you said, maybe like they all do deserve a second chance. Dr. Jen didn't really give us much to the fact that like she's being criminally charged with stuff and we're not even caring. We're just like, it's okay. Well, it's not really.
Nobody wants to follow you. It's okay. You just
right. Please remove Gina. Oh, okay. Ooh, yeah. She's thirsty, and that's nothing to the show. Wow.
I don't understand Gina's fight with Shannon at all, so I'm kind of.
What, you don't like Gina either?
I love Gina. That's the thing, but I didn't understand what happened.
I'm saying somebody's paying them. I'm telling you, somebody's paying her. Like Norman said, she's probably so thirsty. All right, I'm gonna say this, not playing devil's advocate. Maybe she's that thirsty that she's taking money from Kelly Dodd, and Emily is talking her into it to get rid of Shannon because it was ridiculous to go after her and say, "You're this and you're miserable," and then use the friend thing against her, telling her, "You told me you have no friends."
I don't even know. Kelly Dodd involved in it at all. I do kind of wonder if producers were putting a little bug in her ear. We need more drama because Bravo does that.
Yeah, Bravo does, but I mean, you could have went after better fish to fry. There's bigger fish to fry.
But they didn't have a lot to fry this season.
So that's true. I'm like, wait. What? I just thought about that. There was no bigger fish.
They didn't really have anything. They had to make stuff up this year.
Yeah. And it's like, we already had Noella like going after Heather, which was ridiculous because she went after her with like really, really bad stuff. And like kind of like, God, like even when she was in Cabo or wherever that was, like that's where I was starting to feel like, okay, she's acting like a child. Something's wrong. Like we know she's going through a lot. And that's why Heather at that point was like, look, until I know that you're going through, I'm just going to let this go. To the point where it gets like dangerous where, she thought the card thing was inappropriate. Now, people can say that like, I believe that she knew it was on the cards. I just think that in her head, she didn't think it was a problem because in her brain, I think she was like more of a childish. Like, I feel like with me, I started doing drugs when I was 22 and I feel like my brain stopped process. Like I stopped growing at that point and then stopping at 42, I still have a brain. Like I also make childish mistakes, and not that I would do that, but I just feel like, she's not as emotionally mature as the rest of them. And she could have thought, I don't think it was a dig at Heather. Because if she was, that could go really wrong. That could have went really, really bad for her. So if she was trying to do it to be gross or be like, I'm hitting on a child, I don't think she would do it for that reason. I think that she just wasn't thinking it was a big deal. Do I think I knew she knew it was on it? Yes. But I just think that she thought it wasn't that big of a deal, which as an adult and somebody's child, and maybe she is an adult, yes, but Heather's saying, I don't want you to give that to my child. I disagree with even her friends giving her something like that.
Yeah, I definitely think they left the reunion at a good point. And so it will be a good, interesting second part. I think they left a lot of the juice for the second part. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Looks really good. So I know you wanted to wrap this at an hour, so we're almost there.
Yes. Do we want the husbands to come on? I mean, I can't really imagine. What could we get out? I mean, I can't even think of who.
Oh, I'm good.
Oh yeah, no, we're good. Okay. Anybody else? And anybody have any closing thoughts? She makes a beauty line when your cat says, "Yeah."
That's. I don't understand how she made a beauty line that fast, but.
Well, stranger things have happened. I mean, Sonia made a toaster line. So in a year, I mean, not that I'm just saying it failed, but I'm just
100%.
And I'm going, look, I wish them all success. Everything we say is are my opinions, is our assessments, our thoughts. Nothing is fact.
Yeah. This is just a fun,
recap reunion for people.
Nothing factual.
Yeah. We've been here since Slade was the first search when Slade was trying to be the seventh housewife. So I feel like we've earned the right to speak on this stuff. And
we love our lives.
We do. And I love having you on talking with me. So as long as you don't mind coming on with me.
I enjoyed it.
I know, guys. I know I was a little bit of a crazy person in the beginning, but thank you, guys. And guys, thank you so much. And this was really fun. So I think we can do this every week. It's a good time. It's a good daytime one.
Yes.
But yes. All right, guys. Well,
Thanks everybody for coming.
Yeah, don't forget to like, share, comment. I forget to say that every single time. Subscribe. It's free. And yeah. All right, guys. Bye.